Hello, friends. The 909th day of the war between Russia and Ukraine continues. Commander-in-Chief Syrskyi reported to Zelensky today that the Ukrainian armed forces are achieving their goals in the Kursk region, and the priority is to replenish the exchange fund. Yesterday, Zelensky reported that Ukrainian troops control more than 1,250 square kilometers of Russian territory and 92 settlements. And today, Syrskyi cited different statistics. According to him, the Ukrainian army controls 93 settlements in the Kursk region and holds an area of 1,263 square kilometers, having advanced from 28 to 35 kilometers into Russian territory. According to him, Russia is increasing its grouping in the Kursk region and moving troops from other directions. According to him, the Russians are conducting a maneuverable defense, trying to prevent further advancement of Ukrainian troops. Russia today announced that it created 3 new troop groups, Belgorod, Bryansk, and Kursk, to repel the offensive of Ukrainian troops. The information was voiced by Russian Defense Minister Belousov. True, Russian military telegram channels write that they were created even earlier. Also, the Russian Defense Ministry today listed the villages where the Ukrainian armed forces launched an offensive in the Kursk region over the past day. Attacks were declared in the areas of the settlements of Borki, Korenivo, Kremyannoy, Ruskaya Kapulka. That is, the Ukrainian armed forces are attacking mainly along the flanks of their Kursk bridgehead, northwest and southeast of the city of Sudzha. On the western flank, the Ukrainian army continues to try to isolate Russian troops in the border Glushkovo district. According to Bild military expert Julian Ropp, Russian troops are close to a cauldron in this area south of the same river, the bridges over which were destroyed by the Ukrainian army. According to Ropp, up to 3,000 Russian soldiers risk being trapped inside. This area is surrounded by Ukrainian territory from the west and south. From the east, from the Sudzha side, the Ukrainian armed forces are conducting offensive operations there, having established control over the villages of Snegost and Apenasovka the day before, and also captured the village of Vishnevka and reached the railway. There are 2.6 kilometers left to the same river and the closure of the cauldron of the Ukrainian army, Rurk believes. At the same time, Russian military telegram channels do not write about the threat of a cauldron. According to them, despite the destruction of the bridges across the same, the supply of Russian troops is still carried out via pontoon crossings built across the river, especially since the river is not that wide. At the same time, they confirm that the Ukrainian armed forces are now most actively trying to advance in this direction. In turn, Ukrainian telegram channels publish videos of drone strikes on Russian equipment that is building pontoon crossings across the same river in the Kursk region. That is, apparently, the Russians are actively building pontoons, and the Ukrainian armed forces are trying to prevent them from doing so. Today, the Russian Defense Ministry officially announced the capture of New York, in the Donetsk direction. On Sunday, military telegram channels wrote about this en masse. Ukraine did not confirm this, although Zelensky, without going into details, said today that there is a difficult situation on this section of the front. Earlier, Deep State reported on the advance of the Russians in the village. Currently, the map of the resource in New York does not indicate the territories under the control of the armed forces of Ukraine. Only some outskirts are marked in the gray zone. At the same time, according to the Telegram channel, the Russians in New York had an advance today. New York is a large fortified area of the Ukrainian army to the west of Horlivka and to the south of Donetsk, with which it essentially forms one urban agglomeration. That is, the fall of New York complicates the defense of neighboring Donetsk, which is now being attacked mainly from the east. In general, the capture of both settlements, New York and Donetsk, is necessary for the Russians both to protect Horlivka from shelling and to threaten the positions of the armed forces of Ukraine to the south of Bakhmut-Chasiv Yar, and also to the southeast of Kostiantynivka, the road to which is practically open. In the Pokrovsk direction, in Yevhenii, Russian infantry advanced along Centralna Street to a depth of 850 meters and planted their flag in the south of the village. The settlements of Mezhovy and Skuchny came under enemy control. The advance of Russians is recorded on a section up to 7 kilometers wide and to a depth of 1.2 kilometers. South of Hradivka, Russian troops have consolidated their positions along forest belts on a section up to 3.35 kilometers wide and to a depth of 1.6 kilometers, taking control of the remaining part of the village of Zhuravka. Meanwhile, the authorities of the frontline Mionorod announced today that its residents have no more than 3 days left for safe evacuation. This was stated by the head of the city administration Tretia. People's Deputy Mariana Bezagla, deputy head of the Verkhovna Rada Committee on Defense and National Security, also speaks about the seriousness of the situation in Donbass. According to her, units of the Ukrainian armed forces are being withdrawn from the Donetsk region, leaving entire strips of the front to the mercy of fate. Our units are being withdrawn from there, leaving entire strips of the front to the mercy of fate. Ammunition is not being added. The Russians are passing through empty fortifications. In such circumstances, the occupation of Pokrovsk is a matter of the near future, and Donetsk is ending its last days. It looks like we are giving up the Donetsk region, she wrote. But beyond Pokrovsk there is a direct route to Pavlograd, where there are no fortifications at all. And then there is the Dnipro. Beyond Donetsk is the Kramatorsk agglomeration, and then there is the Kharkiv region. No equipment has been made for the administrative border of the Donetsk region, Bezagla added. In her opinion, Kursk is taking the war to a new level of maneuvers from the times of World War II, where the stakes are on losing or gaining entire regions. But what is the price, and what are the prospects? I am sure that he does not have clear answers either, the People's Deputy said. The military responded to Bezagla's statements by stating that no one was leaving their positions. At the same time, they confirmed problems with ammunition. Friends, this channel exists solely thanks to your support. If you have the opportunity and desire to support the channel, I will be very grateful to you. Thank you very much and see you in the next video.